We know that in the state of New Jersey, one of the most serious problems involving debt is underfunding of the pensions. We've had blue ribbon commissions. Now we have our own in-house expert. So we're going to talk about this concept of separating police and fire, their pension, from other pensions, which in the overview is not a bad idea. But Assemblyman Thompson is going to explain in a really simple fashion why it's dangerous to taxpayers.
Folks, I'm Ned Thompson. I'm an enrolled actuary, fellow in the Conference of Actuaries, member of the American Academy of Actuaries. I'm also a member of the College of Pension Actuaries and the American Society of Pension Actuaries. I've been an enrolled actuary administering pension plans for over 35 years. I spent over 20 years on the PERS board as a trustee as well. What I come here today is to speak about a bill called S5. As the speaker had indicated, that this particular bill separates the management of the entire police and fire pension system from the existing management system, which primarily is controlled by the legislature and the governor. And we also have an investment council as well. What the police and fire membership are proposing is to segregate that entire operation and put it under the control of a board of trustees that's appointed by its membership. And that is going to be primarily its membership and people that are involved in the police and fire industry. Now, part of that is, obviously you can see there is somewhat of a conflict just when members are controlling their own benefits, but there was a prior bill in the session before, 3040, that was conditionally vetoed by Governor Christie, primarily due to the fact that there were certain controls that he felt were really important to be included in the bill. Unfortunately, S5 does not have those controls or those safeguards or safety nets. There's prudent fiduciary responsibilities that are put on any board of trustees. This will be the only board of trustees, however, in the state of New Jersey that actually controls its benefits and its contributions of its membership. All the other boards of the trustees are advisory and administrative. That's it. So in S5, what it does is segregates the system, establishes a board of trustees which can determine the benefits increase and the contribution decrease for its members. Let me say that again. The membership of the organization that makes up this board of trustees controls its own benefits, not the legislature. So what I introduced into my bill, which is 3414, is those same controls that Governor Christie had concerns about, and that are basic fundamental fiduciary rules that are incorporated in just about all pension, public or private. The rule is that the minimum amount of funding before benefits could be restricted, at least in the private sector restricted, not necessarily in the public, is 80% of funding. And if any change happens to that benefit structure that is done by the Board of Trustees, that it still has to maintain that level of funding above or at 80%. No such protection is in S5. It has been introduced in my bill, 3414. We are just adding back the fundamental fiduciary, prudent responsibilities and controls, safety nets, and guidelines for this Board of Trustees to live by. As you can see by the chart, they're approaching and have been losing ground over the last 4 years and approaching down to that magic number of 60. 60 in the private sector, you have severe benefit restrictions, and in some cases, they have the government take over your plan. They don't have that safety net here in government plans. They have the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation, which was started in 1974 with ERISA. That does not affect government plans. When United went bankrupt, the tale of two Bobbies. We had Bobby, who was a flight attendant, and Bob, that was a pilot. She called me up from California when her husband passed away and said, "What am I going to do about my pension?" I said, "Well, Bobby, your pension is fine. Pension Guarantee Corporation was established in 1974, and United's been paying into it, and that since the government has taken over their pension, you will continue to get your benefits." However, Robert, on the other hand, who was a highly compensated individual, his benefits were restricted, but he still had benefits. There was a First Circuit Court of Appeals in Rhode Island last month that had the ability of Rhode Island to reduce, even retroactively, pensioners' pension benefits, take them away. governmentally. Government pensions don't have the safety nets that privates do. So putting in reasonable guidelines, prudent fiduciary standards for the board of trustees to live by, I don't believe is unreasonable. And that's really all we're asking.
Can you just explain how it would affect a average taxpayer if the board itself reduced or increased benefits and reduced contributions?
It's going to fall solely on the taxpayer of New Jersey. There is no provision in S5 that is going to prevent the board from increasing benefits and having New Jersey taxpayers pick up the tab, solely. Since they controlled the amount of contribution their members make, they're assigning that particular liability to the state of New Jersey, to its taxpayers. That's really the overriding factor, that there is no protection without these guidelines, without these safety nets that we're insisting upon in 3414.
It's just important to note that the legislature should not abdicate its responsibility in making a decision on things like contribution or benefits and turning it over to this board. This is not anti-police or anti-fire. It's just concern about taxpayers.